I'm going to start quickly. This should move slide every 20 seconds. We're not sure if it will, so I'll speak fast. I want to share with you today the story of how Scott and Fyfe, as a local business, use design in our everyday work. It is moving, thank goodness. Not just in the aesthetics of the business, but as a part of the everyday work we do, our processes, and as a key part of the business strategy. So a bit of background, we're a 150-year-old employee-owned technical textile manufacturing company. We began back in 1864 using natural materials such as jute, flax and hemp. And today we still manufacture in tapework using more advanced materials like glass, carbon and aramid fibres. We've also expanded our capabilities to include knitting, weaving, stitch bonding, creping and coating. The product that you can see being made behind me here is our Textron range, and it's really where this whole journey begins. This product is a crepe and stitch bonded paper which is used for the backing of carpet underlays. We sold this product successfully and as global leaders of the product for over 60 years, and it made the company an awful lot of money. As a result of this, we became really complacent and rested on our laurels. We didn't communicate well internally with each other, and we didn't communicate with the outside world. As you can see, we spent a lot of time in our small office spaces. Unfortunately for us, this meant we didn't notice that the market went into decline, and when the recession hit, we began to lose money fast and knew that we really needed to do something fast to change. We needed to completely adapt the business to survive. At the time this happened, we were introduced to a team at the Glasgow School of Art, completely unfamiliar to us. And this team were teaching design tools to non-designers. So we began to work with them, working together in teams for the first time in a long time to solve problems, and they taught us a lot of different design thinking tools that fit into the double diamond model, which is a framework to map the design process. And we now use this framework for all of our new product introductions. It forces us to go out to the market at the early stages and to really speak to people, find out what's going on in the real world, and to gather as many insights as possible before coming back into the office. We knew that this could potentially be the saviour for us, so we flattened the hierarchy of the company to empower our employees and allow these people that were members of this team to then share these ideas with their employees and really have a say in the decision making. And we also put our customers at the very top of our list of priorities, changing our traditional business units into market-focused pods. But then we came back to tapework, and we're working in this really uninspiring grey concrete block where all these great design tools and ideas were really doomed. So we put aside a table, and you can't see because this is neatly cropped, but this literally is one small table right opposite that grey block. But it was enough to get us to start off with. The guys didn't have to worry about making noise, making a mess and disrupting their colleagues. And for the first time, we began to really speak to people and interact instead of just sending emails and saving meeting minutes in the computer drives. And whilst this was happening, we put in our actual innovation space, the exact same area, but brightly coloured, open plan to encourage us to communicate, and with a lot of breakout areas, so we could quickly and easily discuss the everyday problems that are happening in the company, as well as the new projects we're working on. And for our new market-focused business units, we gave them physical pod spaces with whiteboards on the walls and brown paper, so that we can begin to visualise the work that we were doing. We could use the different tools we learnt with the Glasgow School of Art and keep them up there before the next meeting took place. It was then up to us to make sure that we actually did implement these things in our everyday work. So you can see Peter here teaching one of these design tools to a group who came into Scott and Fyfe. A very simple basic brainstorming tool, but one which is very effective for us to make sure we're considering all options with a new product. And we use a lot of other tools now. I know Claudia mentioned brainstorming. For a lot of non-designers, this is really simple and obvious, brainstorming and mind mapping. But for us as a company, it was completely transformative. Instead of having one or two key R&D people in a meeting, generating one or two ideas that would take the company 5 years to dismiss, we can now generate 100 ideas in one meeting and fail fast through those. Paramount to all this was the idea of collaborative working and working in teams. This is in one of our newest market business units, and we've got Michaela here, who's a director with over 10 years of experience, working alongside and with an equal say in the goings-on to Megan, who joined us at 16 through a job seeker scheme. A lot of people attribute this to the fact that we're an employee-owned company. But for us, the whole idea of working collaboratively and having cross-functional teams came from this design thinking approach, and is one that we keep at the top of our priorities from now on in. Other ideas, tools that we use to back this up. In a business, it can be very easy for a new or quieter employee to be overshadowed by some very loud characters. Dotocracy is a tool where we give each employee a number of votes after a brainstorming session. Each vote has the same amount of clout, and the ideas with the most votes gets taken forward as our new ideas. To finish off, I want to use one of my favourite design tools that we use, which is 6 hats. During a meeting, we will roll out these 6 hats, and people physically have to wear them. Each hat represents a different train of thought that you have to then have for the duration of the meeting. So just to summarise, I will put on my metaphorical white hat, so I can now only be objective and give you facts and figures about this design thinking process. Since we began this journey, 75% of our product range is completely new to the business. 5 years ago, 75% of our products didn't exist. We've implemented one completely new market-focused business unit, and we now generate hundreds of rapid prototypes in a year as opposed to 1 or 2. And lastly, my red hat, which is emotion and gut instinct. I believe that this has gave us a really inspiring place to work in. I think the majority of our employees, from the shop floor to senior management, now feel empowered to have a say in what happens. And if it wasn't for this process, I don't think Scott and Fyfe would still be here today. Thanks.